I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Christy Whitman. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful evening?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure to have you. What part of the world are you in right now, Christy?
I am in Montreal.
All right. So Canada in the house.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, Christy, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting.
I would say it's probably writing books.
Ooh, who did you learn that skill from?
It was just something that one day it appeared to me. I've always been a good writer, and I've always just kind of known what to say and write. And one day I just became a channel for my book. And I've been channeling books ever since.
Ooh, yeah. Tell us about the books that you have written thus far then.
Well, my first book, Perfect Pictures, it came to me in a meditation. And the next, I meditate before I go to bed. And I went to sleep. And at 1:05 in the morning, I was like I had someone talking in my ear. And I had to get up and write down what I was hearing. And so for 7 nights in a row at 1:05 in the morning, that's what happened. And that was my first book. And so the last book I wrote was The Art of Having It All. And I walked up to a media person and said she was a New York writer for the New York
Times? New York Times?
New York Magazine. Thank you.
Okay.
And I went up to her and I said, "What do all New York women want?" And she said, "What?" And I said, "They want it all." And she goes, "Women can't have it all. And we're exhausted. We got to stop. We got to choose between a career and between having a family. We're spreading ourselves too thin." And I just looked at her and I couldn't believe I was hearing. She goes, "Do you know anybody who has it all?" And I said, "Yeah, I feel like I do. And I know a lot of my clients do." And she handed me back my information. And she goes, "I won't be needing this because I don't believe women can have it all." And I said, "And therein lies the problem." So I just got so fired up and I went back to my hotel room and just downloaded the whole entire book because so many people argue for their limitations and I just don't understand why.
Wow. And that brings us to the art of having it all, right? I love the book cover.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's been an average of how many years since all of this has started?
Well, I started learning about the universal laws and what I teach about 20 years ago, but I became an author about 15 years ago.
Oh, intriguing. Yeah, tell us a bit about the universal laws, please.
Yeah, our thoughts create our reality, and we have universal laws that exist. And it doesn't matter if we're a man or a woman, or if we're in Canada or the United States or Europe, it doesn't matter where we are. They all exist. And I started to learn about them and I started to apply them, and my life started to dramatically change. And so it's really about paying attention to your thoughts and paying attention to your energy and how you're feeling and what you're giving out as a human being, as an energy tower. You're going to attract those things back to you. It may not look like tit for tat kind of thing, but say if you are driving in a car and you get upset at the driver next to you and you flip that person off, you're sending out waves of negativity. And if you're going to get it back. Someone's going to be rude to you. You're going to find someone at the Starbucks is rude in line or, whatever it is, because we're in a universe of cause and effect. And we are actually the cause by the energy that we give out. And so there's universal laws and there's many of them, but I find that the most essential ones are 7. And like the first one is law of attraction. What you send out comes back to you. Law of attraction is like a boomerang. It's always reflecting back what's going on inside your own beingness. And then there's law of deliberate creation, the law of allowing, the law of sufficiency and abundance, which is my favorite one because I feel like it pulls all of them together. If you align yourself with abundance, it's like all the universal laws come together. There's the law of detachment, law of polarity, and a law of pure potentiality.
Intriguing. Yeah, I think telling someone off while driving comes around even faster in this day and age. Yeah, I think we're definitely in the microwave age, if you would. It happens so fast.
Yes.
Well, tell me one other thing, please, Christy, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I meditate. I try to, and I don't want to say I try to. When I'm really wanting to pay attention and when I don't have a lot going on, I meditate several times a day. Um, but usually, I never miss going to bed. Like, so I will meditate every night before I go to bed, and it just sets the energy for the sleep that I have, or when I wake up in the morning. And it's something that I don't just like meditate and then I'm negative all day long or whatever. I pay attention to how I feel, and if I need to take a break, take a moment, excuse me, if I need to get some fresh air to kind of set my alignment back to what feels good, I do that. So those are the things that I do, and I do consistently.
Hmm. That's intriguing. Where's the best place for someone to connect with you if they're intrigued by everything you've shared thus far?
ChristyWhitman.com will tell you everything about my online courses and learning more about the universal laws and my books. And if you want to become a law of attraction coach, or if you just want to learn how to have some nice guided meditations to help you really tap into that unlimited being that you are, it's ChristyWhitman.com, and any way you spell it, you'll get yourself there.
And if there's someone that's sitting in a park, just wondering as well, can I have it all? What would you suggest to them?
Yes, I would say absolutely yes. We can have our dreams. You can have it all. Yeah, I would say look at each and every aspect of your life, your body, your finances, your career, your primary relationships, and what would having it all look like for you. Another way of saying it is, what if you had what you really, really loved and felt really, really amazing to you, what would that be? And that's just a way of saying I have it all. And you just look at those different aspects of your life and, ask yourself, what do you want? Why do you want it? And how do you want to feel? And then start feeling that way.
Love it. Amazing audience. We are live with Christy Whitman. Again, she is the author of The Art of Having It All, amongst other things, right? She is a celebrity coach. And that book, actually, New York Times best-selling author. Well done, Christy. Christy, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Christy, what is your earliest childhood memory?
You know what? My earliest childhood memory is not kind of a real fun one, but I remember running in the kitchen when my mom was like chopping up carrots or something, and I was telling on my sister. My sister was 11 years older than me, and she said a swear word, and I remember knowing that was wrong. So I went running into the kitchen telling my mom that my sister said a swear word.
Intriguing. So how old do you think you were?
I must have been about 3 years old.
All right. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I honestly, because my mom didn't believe me. Oh, she did not, and I was like, seriously.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid going, why would I make that up? Like, why aren't you believing me? So it was interesting. So I'm like, you're gonna believe her over me, and the programming began. Dun, dun.
Hey, we don't need sound effects, like Christy is doing it. Well, Christy, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yes.
I love from the conversation the picture you painted just with that New York magazine publisher or whatever she does there, right? And how you needed to fight and what that fight looked like, right? And it's intriguing to see, even at that tender age, that there was that fight in you, that fight for standing for what is right, and to see it translate into the next steps of what you've created, not only for yourself but for so many others, is pretty intriguing.
Why, thank you very much.
You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I think it was around the time of Joan Jett and Pat Benatar. So I think I would have to say it was either I Love Rock and Roll from Joan Jett or Heartbreaker from Pat Benatar.
That's intriguing. You could always connect these things, right? I mean, it definitely is heartbreaking to understand that someone doesn't believe in the thing that they're so well deserved, right?
Yeah.
It's just fascinating how they can connect. All right, Christy. Well, hey, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Christy?
I am.
Christy, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I've certified over 3,500 coaches.
Wow. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have children?
I do. I have two.
All
Two
right.
little boys.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, no, it's less than that.
Christy, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with this workbook. The idea being you answer these questions, they're self-reflective, and then you uncover your own unique real statement, which I term your mission, or mission, which I term your own unique real statement. I'm intrigued to know if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Christy Whitman. What would you say that is?
You and your life are unlimited.
Love it. Christy Whitman, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, just, you are abundant, and it's time we start really believing and living our lives from that place.
Oh, love it. Christy Whitman, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.